Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Continuing Education, SOCE, Awareness Cum Training Packages in the Area of Disability. NCT 001 Mental Retardation. Block 1 Nature of Mental Retardation and its Assessment. Unit 1 Nature and Characteristics of Mental Retardation. 1. Introduction. It is estimated that approximately 3 out of every 100 persons in our country suffer from mental retardation, that is, about 3 crore 30 million people. Mental retardation is a condition that affects the development and functioning of the person in many ways. In this unit, we will learn about the meaning and nature of mental retardation, how mental retardation influences the person's learning ability and development in various areas, as well as the characteristics of persons with mental retardation. The idea behind describing these is to make you aware of the areas in which the child is likely to face difficulties so that you can help him in those areas. How will this unit help you? The information given in this unit will help you to understand and become familiar with what is mental retardation. Classification of persons with mental retardation. The characteristics of persons with mental retardation. How mental retardation influences the person's ability to learn and the influence of mental retardation on various areas of development, including motor development, language development, cognitive development, social development, as well as performance of daily living activities. 1.2 What is mental retardation? Let us read the following descriptions about some people. Mahesh is 7 years old. He does not speak at all. When called by his name, he responds by looking in that direction. His mother feeds him regularly. When he has to use the toilet, he holds his pants and goes to his mother and she takes him there. If she delays, he wets himself. He has no bladder control, toilet control. His mother has to do everything for him, such as brushing teeth, bathing, dress ing and grooming. By and looking after him. Large, he remains in the house with his mother or other family members. Lata is 10 years old. She can speak in short sentences of 2 or 3 words but not very clearly. She can eat independently, use the toilet, brush her teeth, bathe and dress herself. She needs help to wash and braid her hair. She carries out simple tasks around the house such as sweeping, drying clothes and so on, though not perfectly. Occasionally, she has fits. She bites her hands and cries when she does not get what she wants. Umesh is 9 years of age. He talks in sentences and can look after his basic needs independently, such as feeding, toileting, brushing his teeth, bathing, dressing, and grooming. He needs repeated instructions to carry out tasks. He goes to school and attends class I. He has been in that class for the past 3 years and has learned to write a few letters of the alphabet and sote numbers, but he does not understand what they mean. If given money and told what to do, he can buy 1 or 2 things from the shop, but cannot calculate the amount he needs to pay and the balance he must get back. Jaggu is 20 years old. Since childhood he has remained at home because he needs help even for bathing and dressing. He wanders within the village and most of the time returns home on his own. Sometimes he gets lost and is brought home by any neighbor who sees him. He does not speak except for a few words and smiles at people when they try to talk to them. He loses the money given to him. Occasionally, he has fits. His right arm and leg are a little stiff and he drags his leg as he walks. If you look at each of these descriptions, you will find that all these four persons of different ages have some things in common. Can you list them below? Yes, all of them have difficulty in carrying out activities that are expected of their age. However, the degree of their dependence on other people for basic activities varies. Another common feature you see is that all of them have been having these difficulties since their childhood. They experience these difficulties because their brain has not developed as per their age, and as a result, their intelligence is lower than that of non-disabled persons of their age. This happens due to inadequate, arrested, or abnormal development of the brain or damage to the brain during the developmental period, that is, from the time of conception to 18 years. Consequently, many areas of functioning are affected, leading to overall slow growth and development. This condition is known as mental retardation. The current internationally accepted definition of mental retardation, accepted by the World Health Organization as well as in India, is as follows. Mental retardation refers to substantial limitations in present functioning. It is characterized by significantly subaverage intellectual functioning, existing concurrently with related limitations in two or more of the following adaptive skill areas: communication, self-care, home living, social skills, community use, self-direction, health and safety, functional academics, leisure, and work. Mental retardation manifests before age 18. Thus, an individual is mentally retarded if his intellectual functioning is below average. He has difficulty in behaving in ways and carrying out tasks that are appropriate for his age. There is deficiency in adaptive behavior skills. The condition has been present since childhood, before 18 years of age. Now, let us learn about each of the three aspects of mental retardation mentioned in the definition above in greater detail. 1.2.1 Intellectual functioning. As we just read, mental retardation is characterized by subaverage intellectual functioning. Now, the obvious questions that come to one's mind are, what is average normal intellectual functioning and when is a person said to have below average or subaverage intellectual functioning? Let us look at the answers. Just as the child's body grows and develops in a manner appropriate to his age, the mental abilities also expand in accordance with age. The level of development of the mental abilities of the child is known as his mental age. In the case of children who are not disabled, the age of the child in years, also referred to as the chronological age, and the mental age go together. Such a child is described as having normal mental development or average intelligence, which also implies that he has the same level of mental abilities as the majority of non-disabled children of that age. Thus, when we refer to a child as having average intelligence, it means that his level of mental abilities, mental age, equals his actual age, chronological age. But in a child with mental retardation, there is a slowing down in the development of the mental abilities, and the mental age is lower than the chronological age. For example, a child who is 6 years old may have the mental abilities level of a 3-year-old. A mentally retarded child who is 5 years of age may act, talk and behave like a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old or even younger, depending upon how much the slowing down of his mental development has been. To find out the mental age, there are certain standardized intelligence tests administered by psychologists. These tests have age-appropriate tasks which the person has to perform. Based on the results, the person's intelligence is calculated. For instance, if a 5-year-old child is able to answer questions or perform the tasks given in the intelligence test for a 6-year-old, then that 5-year-old would be considered to have a mental age of more than 5 years, even though his chronological age, that is actual age, is 5 years. Thus, he would be considered as having above average intelligence. Comparing a person's mental age and chronological age helps in diagnosing mental retardation. FQR example, if the intelligence tests show that a 10-year-old child has a mental age of 5 years, then it may be assumed that the child possibly has MQTAL retardation. Usually, these results of an intelligence test are expressed in terms of intelligence quotient or IQ. You may be familiar with this word. The IQ is calculated in the following manner. IQ is equal to mental age upon chronological age into 100. Suppose a 7-year-old attempts an intelligence test and his mental age is also found to be 7. So how much would his IQ be? You are right, it would be 7, i.e. the mental age upon 7, i.e. the chronological age into 100 is equal to 100. Whenever the mental age and the chronological age are equal, the IQ will be 100. Different intelligence tests may use different ways of calculating the IQ, but the common factor among all these tests is that the IQ of a person with average intelligence will fall within the range of 90 to 110. An IQ of 70 and below classifies the person as having mental retardation. A mentally retarded person will have an IQ of 70 or below, depending upon the extent to which the development of the brain has been affected. Based on the IQ, the person is classified as having mild, moderate, severe or profound degree of mental retardation. You will find the details of such classification in section 1.3 of this unit. All the persons mentioned in the examples in the beginning of the unit, if tested for IQ, are likely to have an IQ of below 70. 1.2.2 Adaptive behavior. Apart from low IQ, another feature you find common among all the persons with mental retardation, including those described in the examples given earlier, is that their behavior is not appropriate for their age. In other words, there is a deficit in their adaptive behavior. Adaptive behavior refers to the abilities or skills needed to adapt to, cope with, one's environment. It implies that one's activities are suitable for one's age, the time and the place. All of us adapt to our environment at home, in the neighborhood and the community. Right from childhood through adulthood, we perform various tasks. These include communicating and interacting with others, i.e., exchanging thoughts and feelings, self-care, taking care of oneself, carrying out day-to-day routine, like eating and dressing, home living, adjusting within the home environment, participating in household activities, social skills, interacting and relating to other people such as family members, friends and neighbors, forming interpersonal relationships, following social rules and so on, using community resources, using public transport. Shopping, interacting with others in the community, self-direction, solving problems, directing oneself for action in case of problems, health and safety, safeguarding one's health, adopting safety measures, accessing medical services, taking necessary medication, etc., functional academics, basic I skills of reading, writing and arithmetic so that one can carry out routine day. Today activities like reading signboards, signing, counting change etc. Recreational activities and work, doing something useful productive which I may or may not directly bring monetary returns. These are 10 areas of adaptive behavior of person is found deficient in any two or more of these 10 areas of adaptive behavior as a result of low intellectual functioning, he is likely to be mentally retarded. Thus, even before a psychologist carries out a test on the child to assess his IQ, you as a parent, family member, teacher or community worker can make out from the child's day-to-day behavior whether or not he has some degree of mental retardation. Remember, this would be an informal assessment. The adaptive behavior has to be estimated formally by a psychologist using certain tests. You will read more about this aspect in Unit 3 on assessment. It is important to stress again that on the basis of IQ alone, it cannot be said that a person is mentally retarded. Earlier, a person was diagnosed as mentally retarded on the basis of IQ tests only. But it has now been recognized that IQ tests are only one indication of a person's intelligence and his ability to function effectively in the environment. It has also been realized that some children might score poorly on IQ tests. They are also the ones who do not do well in school, but they adjust and adapt competently in other situations. Thus, it cannot be said that they are mentally retarded only because they are below average in academics and do not perform well in IQ tests. Further, sometimes the assessment of IQ may not have been carried out properly, or the test may contain certain items and questions which are vastly different from the culture of the person being tested, and so he may not have adequate information regarding them. Also, the person's own mental and emotional state at the time of the test can influence the test result. Thus, a child may not be able to perform on the test items adequately if he is anxious or nervous, and this will lower his IQ score. However, he may show no deficiency in any of the 10 areas of adaptive behavior that have been mentioned earlier. In this case, he would not be considered mentally retarded. Despite P low IQ score 1.2.3 age of onset, you would have noticed that all the individuals described in the examples given earlier showed the characteristics reflecting subaverage intellectual functioning and deficit in adaptive behavior since childhood. Yes, to call a person mentally retarded, his brain must have been affected due to various causes about which we will read in Unit 2 during the developmental period. That is from conception to 18 years of age. A person is said to have mental retardation if he shows each of the following three characteristics. Below average intellectual functioning. Behavior not appropriate to age, time or place as a result of the below average intellectual functioning and existence of this condition since childhood, i.e. conception to 18 years of age. 1.3 Classification of persons with mental retardation. Most professionals classify persons with mental retardation on the basis of the severity of their problems, which are indicative of the degree of retardation. The generally accepted approach is to consider retardation as existing on a continuum or scale of severity. The psychological and educational systems of classification follow this approach. There is also the medical classification, which is based on the causes of mental retardation. Let us now take a look at these various modes of classifying. 1.3.1 Medical classification. Medical professionals classify persons with mental retardation on the basis of causative factors. These include chromosomal abnormalities I*, genetic causes, infection and intoxication I, metabolic nutritional disorders, trauma, gross brain disease, environmental causes, psychiatric causes, unknown causes. 1.3.2 Psychological classification. This method uses IQ as the basis of classification. The IQ of persons with mental retardation may range from less than 20 to 70 or 75, depending on the extent of damage to the brain. Based on the IQ, people with mental retardation are classified as having mild, moderate, severe, and profound levels of mental retardation. This classification is internationally accepted. The higher the IQ, the lower is the difference between actual chronological age and mental age, and the more appropriate will be the child's behavior to his age. The classification based on 1Q is as follows. Table 1.1 Psychological classification. 50 to 55 to approx. 70 MLD mental retardation. 35 to 49 moderate mental retardation. 20 to 34 severe mental retardation. Below 20 profound mental retardation. This classification is necessary for certification purposes. All persons with disabilities need to have a certificate which indicates the nature and extent of their disability. You may be required to show this certificate to obtain admission for the child in a school. This certificate is also necessary to get some benefits and concessions from the government. The central and state governments announce various benefits and concessions for persons with disabilities from time to time. To avail of these, classification and certification become necessary. However, teachers working with children with mental retardation feel that the psychological system of classification does not give any indication of the abilities and needs of the child. They prefer the educational classification described below. 1.3.3 Educational classification. Another method of classifying people with mental retardation is based on the extent to which they can benefit from education. This system of classification is primarily used by educators since it clearly spells out what level of education one can expect a child to achieve and also states to the teacher what is expected of her in teaching the child. The psychological classification described above does not give any information about how to teach and train the child. Earlier educators used the terms educable, trainable, and custodial to indicate till what level one would expect the child to benefit from education. These terms also gave a guideline to the teacher as to what type of educational activities could be planned for the child. These terms correspond with the psychological classification of mild, moderate, severe, and profound degrees of retardation and are described in Table 1.2. Thus, a person with mild mental retardation is educable. A person with moderate to severe mental retardation is trainable, whereas a person with profound mental retardation needs custodial care. Table 1.2 will give you an understanding of the potential of children with mental retardation classified on the basis of educational classification. Tilde lone tilde side, the corresponding syndological classification has also been indicated. Tilde o, ever, do not fix a limit for the child's learning by yourself. Rather, give him opportunities to learn and perform. A child whom you have classified as belonging to the trainable category may surprise you by achieving goals you may have set for the educable category. It would interest you to know that this educational classification, and thus labeling the child as educable, trainable, and custodial, is, in fact, no longer in popular use. Nowadays, the focus of education is towards integrated and inclusive education, and, therefore, many educators have begun to feel that these terms educable, trainable, and custodial isolate the child from the rest of the children and seem like derogatory and negative labels. These labels tend to exclude the children with mental retardation from normal activities of children of their age. Therefore, now the educators have begun to use the school-based system of classification, which is used for non-disabled children. You know that the age of 3 to 4 years is the time when the child attends a preschool. The years between age 5 and 10 are the years of primary schooling, 11 to 14 years are for secondary schooling, and 15 to 18 years for senior secondary education and pre-vocational training. The same method of classification is now being used for children with mental retardation. Thus, a mentally retarded child of 8 years high educationally fall in the preschool years, 3 to 4 years. In other words, this child is showing skills exhibited by a preschooler and, therefore, needs educational instruction appropriate for a preschooler, even though other non-disabled children of his age would be in the primary school. This school-based system of classification emphasizes the importance of education for children with mental retardation just as for any other child. The only difference will be that they would not be following the general curriculum implemented in regular schools, but would need an individualized curriculum suitably developed to meet their particular needs. As you saw from the above description of the various modes of classification, professionals from different backgrounds may use different methods of classification depending upon the type of services they are providing to the persons with mental retardation. However, when you work with a person with mental retardation, do not bother about classification labels but look at his strengths and needs with the objective of training him to lead an independent life. Whatever be the classification and label being used, we must not forget. THT persons with mental retardation are also human beings like the rest of us. They have the same needs and the same rights like we do. Give them opportunities, foster their overall development, and enable them to be independent. The focus should be to train the person with mental retardation to achieve his potential to the maximum extent possible and help him to lead an independent life, irrespective of how he is classified. The basic thing that one needs to appreciate is that functioning of persons with mental retardation can be improved. Since damage once occurred to the brain cannot be cured, mental retardation is seen as a permanent condition, that is, a person who is mentally retarded will remain so for the duration of his lifetime. However, professionals have now realized that mentally retarded persons can benefit tremendously from appropriate stimulation and training, and that the level of functioning of all persons with mental retardation can be improved. 1.4 Characteristics of persons with mental retardation. As you are aware, mental retardation involves slowed down mental development leading to lowered intelligence. Therefore, development in any areas of functioning is affected, depending on the degree of retardation. The persons with mental retardation exhibit certain typical behavioral characteristics, which we are going to read about in this section. 13 Very child with mental retardation may not have all the characteristics listed below. Some of them may have many of the characteristics, most of them will have some of the characteristics exhibited in varying degrees. It is very important for us to understand these characteristics in order to plan a suitable training program for the child person. These characteristics will also help you to understand the effect of mental retardation on the child's development so that you understand why the child seems to be behaving the way he is. Also, these characteristics can help you in identifying a child with mental retardation in the family, neighborhood, or school, and will enable you to help him appropriately. 1.4.1 Appearance. The majority of children with mental retardation are mildly retarded, and most of them look like non-disabled children. However, some of the mentally retarded persons have specific physical features which make them appear different from others. For instance, some have a big head due to fluid accumulation in the head, hydrocephalus, while some have a small head, microcephalus. Some individuals with mental retardation have slanting eyes, a narrow forehead, and a protruding tongue, characteristics of mental retardation due to Down syndrome. Other children may have a dull expression in their eyes or even appear to be hard of hearing on many occasions. Severely and profoundly retarded children stand out from the rest due to their appearance. 1.4.2 Delayed milestones of development. Development is a process through which children acquire a variety of skills and abilities which enable them to function better in the environment. We typically describe development with respect to the following areas: physical and motor, social, emotional, language, and cognitive, also referred to as mental development. Development helps Z child to move from complete dependence, as at birth, to complete independence, as in adulthood. Both the biological capacity and the environmental stimulation are responsible for one's development. We are aware that development occurs in stages in a sequential manner. Children acquire a particular skill or reach a particular stage of development at a certain age. For example, most children learn to sit by the time they are 6 to 8 months old, speak the first word around 1 to 1% years, achieve toilet control by 2 to 3 years of age, and achieve the ability to think in abstract terms around 1 to 1.5 years of age. Such skills and abilities, for instance, sitting, speaking the first word, achieving toilet control, and being able to think in abstract terms, are known as developmental milestones. Another relevant term in this context is norms of development. Norms refer to the age range within which most children reach a particular developmental milestone or acquire a particular skill or ability. Developmental norms serve the important function of indicating whether or not the child is growing normally. In a child with mental retardation, the achievement of these milestones does not occur at the same age range at which the non-disabled children achieve them. His milestones, in all areas of development, are delayed. In other words, these children do not grow at the same pace as other children. To what extent the milestones would be delayed would depend upon the degree of retardation. Some mentally retarded children grow faster as compared to others like them. But development of all mentally disabled children is slow as compared to non-disabled children of their age. Some significant milestones DF development are listed in Table 1.3. The time of attainment of a milestone may deviate to some extent from the age range given, even in the case of non-disabled children. However, if the child does not reach these milestones at approximately the same time as mentioned in the table, and particularly if there is a significant delay, it should be taken seriously, as it could be an indication of mental retardation. Table 1.3 Some milestones of development. 1. Response to name voice by looking towards the speaker 1 to 3 month. 2. Smiles at others 1 to 4 month. 3. Holds head erect 3 to 6 months. 4. Begins to reach towards objects 4 to 6 months. 5. Rolls from back onto stomach 5 to 7 months. 6. Uses whole palm to grasp 6 to 7 months. 7. Babbles 6 to 10 months. 8. Sits without support 810 months. 9. Crawls 810 months. 10. Stands by holding onto an object 9 to 11 months. 11. Stands without support 10 to 12 months. 12. Walks without support 12 to 15 months. 13. Holds object with thumb and index finger 12-15 months. 14. Says some single words like anda and papa, meaningly 12 to 15 months. 15. Begins to use 2 to 3 words together 16 to 30 months. 16. Indicates toilet needs 18 to 24 months. 17. Eats drinks by self to 2-3 years. 18. Shows body parts when named to 2-3 years. 19. Uses simple sentences to 5-3 years. 20. Takes off simple clothes to 2-3 years. 21. Gives meaningful verbal answers to simple questions to 2-3 years. 22. Has toilet control 3 to 4 years. 23. Wears simple clothes 3 to 4 years. 24. Differentiates big and small 3 to 4 years. 25. Identifies boy or girl 3 to 4 years. Babbling means repeating syllables like ma, da, ki, and ne over and over again so that we can hear sounds like mamama, dat dada, kiki, and so on. Let us now read specifically how development in various areas may be affected due to mental retardation. 16 to 30 months. 18 to 24 months. 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years. 2% 3 years. 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years. 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 1.4.3 Impaired cognitive abilities. T. Cognitive development refers to the emergence of thinking capabilities. ____ begins to use 2 to 3 words together. Indicates toilet needs seats drinks by self. Shows body parts when named. Uses simple sentences. Takes off simple clothes. Gives meaningful verbal answers to simple questions, has toilet control, wears simple clothes, differentiates big and small, identifies boy or girl in the individual right from the time he is born to adulthood. It can also be referred to as the process of mental development. Cognitive, mental abilities are those abilities which emerge as a consequence of this development and help us in learning. Some of the cognitive abilities are those of memory, problem solving, reasoning, understanding cause and effect, relationships, and ability to deal with abstractions. Learning is fundamental to leading a meaningful and useful life. All of us need to learn those aspects that will help us to survive and do well in our culture and environment. The more complex the society or culture in which we live, the more facts and skills we must learn to be able to lead a comfortable life. Persons whose mental, cognitive functioning is not impaired have the ability to attend to the task at hand, have memory, are able to remember, can carry on abstract thinking, ability to think in terms of ideas and concepts, display problem solving ability, and have the ability to generalize, are able to apply what is learned in one situation to another situation of a similar nature. When a person has the above abilities, he can learn 2. Deal with tasks involving abstractions effectively, and 3. Deal with new situations. We call such a person intelligent. Persons with mental retardation have impaired or inadequate cognitive abilities, which leads to lowered intelligence, making it difficult for them to learn, deal with new situations and tasks involving abstraction. Let us now find out the details of some of the specific cognitive, mental abilities which are affected due to mental retardation. Difficulty in paying attention. At any point of time, there are so many things happening around us. There are people doing various activities and several sounds are always present. Yet, we do not attend to all of these. We focus on what we want to hear, see, or do and tend to be unaware of other things around us. This ability of ours to attend to the task at hand is very important for learning as well as coping with OW environment. One must be able to attend to a task before one can learn it or perform it successfully. In this area, children with mental retardation are weak. They have difficulty in paying attention to tasks at hand, especially those that require sitting down and concentrating. They may find everything around them attractive and, therefore, may want to amend to all the things at the same time. They tend to attend to unimportant things and have difficulty in allocating attention properly. As a result, every task they undertake may remain incomplete. You may find that when you are teaching the child a certain task, he shifts quickly to another one. In other words, he is easily distracted. This certainly interferes with learning because every learning activity, as a first step, needs the person's attention. When people with mental retardation do not attend to tasks, they are not doing so deliberately, as some of us may tend to think, rather, they have a disability that interferes in the natural development of attending skills. So, you must not get impatient with them or scold them. The following example will help you to understand. Babu is a 6-year-old moderately retarded child attending an ECI center. He is among 3 to 4-year-old children for all activities. When the educator gives pebbles to all the children to arrange along a circle drawn on the floor, Babu does not understand what he has to do. The educator goes to him, shows what has to be done, watches him place two pebbles on the line as she had done. When she moves on to see what other children are doing, Babu stops the activity, starts looking around and throwing away the pebbles. The educator has to keep coming back to him to help him finish the task. Babu has a low attention span, but he can be helped to improve it. Poor memory needs repeated instruction. A child with mental retardation is slow in learning not only because he cannot attend to the task adequately, but also because he has difficulty in remembering information or a learned skill. This means that the child requires several repetitions of an experience before he can remember what was done. Anything told once is not easily understood or learned. For example, when a nursery school teacher teaches a song of 4 lines to her group of preschool children, most of them would know the lines after it is sung a few times. The child with mental retardation, on the other hand, may recognize the words when the teacher and the other children are singing, but may not be able to join them immediately. However, gradually this child would also begin to repeat a few words, mostly the first and the last words in the line. It may be only after several weeks 1 months that the child managed to learn all the 4 lines of the song. This would be true of any activity that you carry out, whether it is recognizing colors, numbers, or alphabets, classifying objects, or a discussion on animals, festivals, or any other topic. Anything told once is not easily understood or learnt by a person with mental retardation. If the learned skill is put to use every day, like eating, bathing, and so on, he may remember. But if the skill is not used every day, he is likely to forget. For instance, if you have taught the child how to swim, he may learn it quite well. But as this activity is seasonal, next year when you take him for swimming, you may find that he has forgotten the skill and you have to begin teaching him again. Therefore, while selecting skills to teach to the child, make sure they are put to use constantly to help the child adult understand. Be brief and clear in your statements. Use simple language. Do not confuse him with a lot of information. Meet asterisk disabled children have memory, but they require greater practice before they can memorize anything. When a person has the above abilities, he can learn to deal with asks involving abstractions effectively, and 3. Deal with new situations. We call such a person intelligent. Persons with mental retardation have impaired inadequate cognitive abilities, which leads to lowered intelligence, making it difficult for them to learn, deal with new situations and tasks involving abstraction. Let us now find out the details of some of the specific cognitive, mental abilities which are affected due to mental retardation. Difficulty in paying attention. At any point of time, there are so many things happening around us. There are people doing various activities and several sounds are always present. Yet, we do not attend to all of these. We focus on what we want to hear, see, or do and tend to be unaware of other things around us. This ability of ours to attend to the task at hand is very important for learning as well as coping with OW environment. One must be able to attend to a task before one can learn it or perform it successfully. In this area, children with mental retardation are weak. They have difficulty in paying attention to tasks at hand, especially those that require sitting down and concentrating. They may find everything around them attractive and, therefore, may want to amend to all the things at the same time. They tend to attend to unimportant things and have difficulty in allocating attention properly. As a result, every task they undertake may remain incomplete. You may find that when you are teaching the child a certain task, he shifts quickly to another one. In other words, he is easily distracted. This certainly interferes with learning because every learning activity, as a first step, needs the person's attention. When people with mental retardation do not attend to tasks, they are not doing so deliberately, as some of us may tend to think, rather, they have a disability that interferes in the natural development of attending skills. So, you must not get impatient with them or scold them. The following example will help you to understand. Babu is a 6-year-old moderately retarded child attending an ECCE center. He is among 3 to 4-year-old children for all activities. When the educator gives pebbles to all the children to arrange along a circle drawn on the floor, Babu does not understand what he has to do. The educator goes to him, shows what has to be done, watches him place 2 pebbles on the line as she had done. When she moves on to see what other children are doing, Babu stops the activity, starts looking around and throwing away the pebbles. The educator has to keep coming back to him to help him finish the task. Babu has a low attention span, but he can be helped to improve it. Poor memory needs repeated instruction. A child with mental retardation is slow in learning not only because he cannot attend to the task adequately, but also because he has difficulty in remembering information or a learned skill. This means that the child requires several repetitions of an experience before he can remember what was done. Anything told once is not easily understood or learned. For example, when a nursery school teacher teaches a song of 4 lines to her group of preschool children, most of them would know the lines after it is sung a few times. The child with mental retardation, on the other hand, may recognize the words when the teacher and the other children are singing, but may not be able to join them immediately. However, gradually this child would also begin to repeat a few words, mostly the first and the last words in the line. It may be only after several weeks 1 months that the child managed to learn all the 4 lines of the song. This would be true of any activity that you carry out, whether it is recognizing colors, numbers or alphabets, classifying objects, or a discussion on animals, festivals or any other topic. Anything told once is not easily understood or learnt by a person with mental retardation. If the learned skill is put to use every day, like eating, bathing, and so on, he may remember. But if the skill is not used every day, he is likely to forget. For instance, if you have taught the child how to swim, he may learn it quite well. But as this activity is seasonal, next year when you take him for swimming, you may find that he has forgotten the skill and you have to begin teaching him again. Therefore, while selecting skills to teach to the child, make sure they are put to use constantly to help the child adult understand. Be brief and clear in your statements. Use simple language. Do not confuse him with a lot of information. Meet asterisk disabled children have memory, but they require greater practice before they can memorize anything. Difficulty in problem solving. Every day we come across problems at home, at the workplace, or in the neighborhood. These may be minor ones, such as finding that you do not have all the ingredients to make a particular dish when you have begun cooking. This requires you to think of alternatives, or a more serious problem, such as managing a situation at the workplace or handling a child who shows difficult behavior at the home and the school. When faced with problems, we find solutions and carry on with the activity. Confronted with the same problem, two of us may deal with it in different ways depending on our exposure, ability, and resources. A person with mental retardation, however, has difficulty in finding a solution to his problem. Further, if a problem can have more than one solution, he may not be able to decide which one is the best. For instance, if he misses the bus one day, then the problem, what to do now, could have several possible solutions: wait for the next bus, a walk, take an auto, go back home. The mentally retarded youngster can have difficulty in deciding what to do. Therefore, developing his problem solving and decision making skills need focus in our training. Difficulty in understanding abstraction. Children need concrete, real examples or real objects for learning when they are young. As they grow up, they can learn even without the presence of objects they earlier needed for learning. For example, small children need to see, touch, and smell hits, vegetables, animals, objects, and so on, in order to understand them. However, once they form an idea about them, they can understand a discussion about them even when these objects are not physically present before them. This means they can recall and think about them in their mind. They understand abstract terms such as beauty or honesty. A mentally retarded child has difficulty in developing an understanding of things, objects, and so on unless they are actually present, even when he grows up to be an adult. He finds it difficult to understand abstract terms or abstract instructions, instructions which cannot be seen through concrete objects. Terms like left, right, far, near, yesterday, tomorrow, next week, last week, and such other abstract terms are difficult to teach. Therefore, you should try to have visual cues wherever possible. In other words, try to have the actual object or its picture. Also try to convert abstract statements into concrete ones. For instance, if the retarded person does not know right and left for wearing slippers, tell him, see whether the toe rings of the slippers are next to each other before wearing them. You could also put a dot at the place on the slipper where the big toe rests and teach him to place his toe on the dot. This is a concrete instruction and will help him wear the slippers without error. Poor understanding of cause and effect. Mentally retarded persons learn by experiencing a situation directly, through concrete objects. Thus, if you simply explain to them verbally that the ice cream melts if you leave it in the sun, they will not understand it. You will need to demonstrate it to them. This inability to understand verbal cause and effect statements, such as, if you touch the utensil placed on fire, it will hurt you, poses practical problems. Thus, all health and safety precautions must be carefully planned. Inability to generalize. Non-disabled persons are able to use what they have learned in one situation in another situation as well. Thus, if the child learns to eat food using a plate and spoon at home, he can also eat food in another person's house or eat his food out of the lunch box in school. This ability of being able to put to use skills learned in one settingal situation, in another situation as well, is called generalization or transfer of limingal training. A person with mental retardation, however, does not easily apply what is learnt in one situation to another situation. He has difficulty in generalizing. For instance, if he is taught to peel cucumber, he will not apply the same skill naturally for peeling radish or carrot. It needs to be taught again using a radish karot, though it will take a little less effort to teach him in this situation. Low academic achievement. Generally, children with intellectual retardation do not learn to read and write at the expected age. Some may never be able to attend formal school due to their intellectual limitations, while others may take longer, as compared to their age mates, to complete primary level education. Until now, we have described what are the mental, cognitive abilities that get affected due to mental retardation. When the vital mental skills are impaired, it will adversely affect the performance of the person in routine activities of daily living as well as tasks involving complex decision making. Impaired or lowered ability to learn negatively influences development in all areas, causing a delay in achieving all milestones. Let us see how impaired mental abilities lead to performance difficulties and influence other areas of development. Persons with mental retardation have limited capacity to learn, and thus, there is delay if all areas of development. 1.4.4 Poor motor development. Physical development refers to the physical changes in the size, structure, and proportion of the parts of the body that take place from the moment of conception. Motor development means the development of control over body movements, which results in increased coordination between various parts of the body. Motor development can be described as gross motor and fine motor development. Gross motor development refers to control over large muscles of the body such as those of the shoulder, elbow, hip and back. Running, walking, climbing, throwing and kicking require the use of large USC_S. Fine motor development refers to control over small muscles of the body, such as those of the wrist and fingers. The milestones of motor development are delayed in all children with mental retardation. In other words, these children will not learn to sit, stand, walk, run, climb stairs, jump, grasp objects, feed themselves, scribble, draw and write at the same age as other non-disabled children of their age. Both gross and fine motor movements are affected. The extent to which the milestones are delayed would depend on the degree of retardation. The mildly retarded child would learn to walk earlier as compared to a severely retarded child, but he would still learn to walk later than a non-disabled child. A child with mental retardation needs extra help learning to twist and to roll and to lift up on his arms and turn are important early developmental steps. Here an adult first helps loosen up a child by slowly swinging his hips from side to side. Even after the milestones have been achieved, there are a certain amount of uncoordinated, odd or clumsy movements in some persons with mental retardation. These can be noticed when they try to catch a ball, balance on one foot or manipulate small objects like a toy, pencil or scissors. Many a time, learning to tie a ribbon or pajama tape becomes an impossible task for many of them. Their use of their hands, legs, and body is not efficient. Poor motor development and coordination is evident in some of the following signs: jerky and uncoordinated movements, difficulty in moving both arms at the same time, difficulty in crossing the midline of the body. For example, the child will have difficulty in using his right hand to pick up a toy placed on the left side of his body. Poor balance, which is seen as the child frequently trips, bumps into people or drops things. Difficulty in skills or movements involving fingers and wrists. For example, the child cannot button, hold a pencil properly, or use scissors. Difficulty in eye-hand coordination, which is shown when the child tries to do activities like pasting, painting, catching a ball, etc. And in jerky eye movements when he watches a moving object. As you know, motor movements are based on how the brain commands the limbs. Since the intelligence of mentally retarded persons is low, they are also poor in motor planning. To carry out a simple task, for example, pick up an object from under the table to feet away, our brain plans the movements in detail, making decisions regarding aspects such as how many steps to move forward, how much to bend to get under the table, how far to extend the hand, what finger position to use to pick up the object, how to crawl backwards without hitting the head and then stand up. Looking at the object, the brain plans first and then commands the body. We are not aware of this thinking because it becomes routine, but the brain plans it in this manner each time. In the mentally retarded person, this may not happen, as the planning for motor activities by the brain is inadequate. You will find a person with mental retardation bumping into things, pushing people, objects, or spilling things. With appropriate stimulation and training, children with mental retardation can learn to be fairly independent in routine activities, though they will not be able to catch up with the non-retarded children in motor development. You would have seen some emerge as champions in Olympics or Special Olympics, i.e., Olympics organized for persons with disabilities. In the case of some children, the effect on motor development may be more severe. For example, in the case of a mentally retarded child who also has cerebral palsy, the neurological damage influences the muscle tone, which may be excessively tight, thus interfering with the movements of the arms and legs. On the other hand, muscle tone can be floppy or low, as seen in many children with Down syndrome, and this also causes problems in motor eye skills or eye movements. Mental retardation is characterized by slow development of all motor skills grows, such as walking, as well as fine, such as grasping objects. 1.4.5 Delayed language development. The milestones of language development are delayed in all children with mental retardation. A retarded child learns to speak later than other children. The extent of delay depends on the degree of retardation. The stages or sequence of development of language would be the karne, as in the case of non-disabled children, but the child will reach each stage, that is, achieve each milestone, later. Quite often, parents of mentally retarded children initiate contact with a doctor regarding the child's inability to speak, and not because they realize that the child is mentally retarded. Generally, the level of mental retardation and the extent of retardation in language development are directly linked. To speak, the child must First, be able to attend to what the other person is saying and understand it. This requires the child to possess a certain level of cognitive, mental abilities. A person is able to speak only when he is able to comprehend. So, being able to understand precedes being able to talk. This is true in the case of non-disabled individuals also. You would have noticed that the infant is able to understand what you are saying much before he utters his first word, around his first birthday. In the case of mental retardation, a lot of effort has to be focused on improving the child's ability to understand language, which precedes his being able to talk. Even after they learn to speak, many individuals with mental retardation may not be able to speak in grammatically correct sentences. Their ability to understand and express their ideas, thoughts, and feelings is limited. They have limited vocabulary and may also have articulation problems or unclear speech which is incomprehensible to the listener. All these aspects cause difficulty in communication, even if the child or an older individual with mental retardation is familiar with the words and sentences, he will have less efficiency in comprehending them as compared to non-disabled children. In addition, abstract concepts like next week, after sometime, a few, bigger, or analogies like as swift as an arrow or as lazy as a buffalo are not understood by a retarded person. In general, the more concrete the concept, i.e., concepts which can be perceived through the five senses, for example glass, cat, horn, etc., the better he will comprehend it. A profoundly retarded person may never speak except for some sounds. He may understand a few words and communicate through gestures. Persons with moderate degree of retardation may speak in sentences of 2-3 words. Individuals with mild mental retardation may be able to speak in short sentences, but their vocabulary will be limited. In some cases, the difficulty in language development may be because of the body parts involved in speaking 6G. For instance, Down syndrome, that causes mental retardation, also results in low muscle tone in the region of the face and mouth, as well as a smaller, shallower mouth with a thicker tongue. These features make it difficult for the child to speak clearly and precisely. Similarly, mentally retarded children who also have cerebral palsy tend to have poor control over breathing, an essential feature for speech production, and consequently have delayed language development. 1.4.6 Inadequate social skills. Social development refers to the development of those abilities that enable the individual to behave in accordance with the expectations of society. It includes the person's relationship with people, ways of interacting with them, and the ability to perform certain crucial social roles such as that of a son, daughter, friend, brother, sister, worker, and neighbor. Emotional development refers to the emergence of emotions and the socially acceptable ways of expressing them. People with mental retardation face a lot of difficulties in the area of social functioning, difficulty in making friends. Individuals with mental retardation often have problems making friends. They do not seem to know how to strike up and maintain social interactions with others. They also tend to exhibit behaviors that put off their peers. For example, they exhibit disruptive behavior more often than non-retarded children, and this puts off the latter. These differences are evident from the preschool years onwards. Difficulty in playing. Children with mental retardation do not play actively with other children unless helped to do so. Some of them may avoid company. They do not show initiative and imagination when playing. Their play is likely to be repetitive. However, they can develop the skills of interacting with other children and adults through training and conscious efforts. Lack of social skills. Due to the cognitive difficulties, persons with mental retardation do not become socially adept, as their critical thinking and problem solving abilities are impaired. They tend to get cheated easily. They are more gullible, i.e., believe others more easily than their peers. They have difficulty in deciding what is appropriate in a given situation. They do not understand cause and effect and the implications of any act. For instance, if an individual with mental retardation likes a particular film star, and if someone says to him, pointing to a man, beat that man and I will give you a poster of the film star, he may beat the unknown man for the sake of the poster, not realizing the implication. Instances have been reported of mentally retarded persons being used for bootlegging and drug trafficking, as well as some young, vulnerable girls ending up in prostitution. It is sad, but true. The fact is that the inability to think critically and take independent action results in the misuse or abuse of these persons. Many mentally retarded children show behaviors that are inappropriate and unacceptable, such as throwing things, shouting, hitting others without provocation, throwing temper tantrums, withdrawn behavior, stubbornness, or resistance to new situations. You will read more about why the child develops such unacceptable behavior and how to manage them in Unit 13. Impulsivity. Many mentally retarded individuals are also impulsive. Many a times, we resist from doing certain acts which we wish to do because they may not be appropriate in the situation. For example, suppose you have gone to visit someone and are sitting in his house talking to him. When you remember something funny, you will refrain from laughing while you are talking to him. Because if you do, the other person will not understand and may take offense, thinking that you are laughing at him. However, a retarded person may tend to do instantly what comes to his mind. This characteristic many a times is considered as problem behavior, as because of their impulsivity they tend to laugh to themselves, pinch others and throw things without provocation. When the child person behaves like this, you need to find out what provokes him to do so and correct the behavior. What 8 The techniques of changing a person's behavior has been discussed in detail in Unit 13. Low self-concept and self-esteem. Many persons with mental retardation, particularly those who are mildly mentally retarded, realize that others are making fun of them, but they do not understand why. This can lower their confidence in themselves, leading to negative feelings about themselves. Most of them have low self-concept and low self-esteem. The less the mental ability, that is, the more severe the degree of retardation, the lesser is the realization that they are being rejected or ridiculed. All of them feel good when they are pleasantly included in activities along with others and show happinesses. If the family and neighborhood provide love and understanding and the person is given opportunities for self-development, a person with mental retardation can lead a happy and fruitful life as a productive member of the community. 1.4.7 Lack of self-care daily living skills. The term daily living skills activities refers to our day-to-day activities of bathing, toileting, washing, eating, grooming, and so on, which we learn to carry out without assistance or with minimal assistance. The child with mental retardation takes longer to learn to look after his own daily needs. In fact, some of them may never learn to perform the daily living activities independently. Let us see why this happens. Motor and language skills form a part of every daily living activity. The daily activity of eating, for example, needs the language ability to indicate hunger and the need for food, as well as to ask for the specific food item. It needs the gross motor ability of seating oneself comfortably for eating and the fine motor ability of picking up food and directing it to the mouth without spilling. Since children with mental retardation have delayed motor and language development, every daily living activity will pose a difficulty for a retarded child. Added to this is the fact that the child has a low level of intelligence, which implies difficulty, cognitive deficit, in decision making, problem solving, attention, and memory, which further delays learning, including the learning of how to carry out the daily living activities. Another factor which hinders the child from acquiring daily living skills is his inability to generalize and to transfer the learning acquired in one situation to another. Refer to Section 1.4.3. Hence, things need to be taught afresh in different environments. Let us understand this aspect with the help of an example. A non-disabled child, if taught how to wear a t-shirt, will automatically learn to wear a baniya vest. A child with mental retardation, on the other hand, would need to be taught again how to wear a baniya, as there is a slight difference in the procedure. To take another example, if the child learns to eat dal and rice with his hand, he may not be able to transfer this learning to eating dosa and sambar with his hand, which a non-disabled child would be able to do. The retarded child will have to be taught afresh. Taking an example of an older, mentally retarded person, suppose you have taught him to buy vegetables one grocery from a particular shop. Later, if he needs to buy the same firing another shop, he would need help because the setting, the people, and other details in the second shop will be different from the first one. In other words, an individual with mental retardation is not able to apply what he has learned in one situation to another situation which is slightly different, and therefore, he needs to be trained in doing the same task in each of these situations. Another factor which creates a difficulty in acquiring daily living skills is that persons with mental retardation tend to forget things easily and need regular practice. 1.4.8 Lack of self-direction. There is a lack of direction in retarded children's actions. They may do something without purpose, such as rock themselves while sitting or carry on doing something for no apparent reason. 1.4.9 Inadequate health and safety skills. Many persons with mental retardation require help from others to look after their health and safety, even after they are grown up. Some of them cannot be left alone, even when they are adults. 1st April 2010 Difficulty in leisure and work-related activities. Mentally retarded persons are often unable to use recreational facilities and other opportunities for enjoyment. Some of them may also lack the initiative and skills to take up work independently. They are easily distracted and, therefore, tend to be careless. Therefore, they require the assistance of family members, neighbors, or social workers. 1st April 2011 Lack of motivation. Persons with mental retardation have problems of motivation. They tend to give up easily when faced with challenging tasks and do not persist in trying. This happens because they have experienced failure in so many situations that they develop the feeling that no matter how hard they try, they will still fail. They believe that they have little control over what happens to them. When teaching children with mental retardation, it is important to help them experience success so that they develop the motivation to try and persist in learning. Reading through the above description of areas of limitation, one may get the impression that mentally disabled children cannot do anything. This is not true at all. They are capable in many ways. Besides, all children with mental retardation will not have a difficulty in all these areas. Also, the extent to which development will be affected in these areas varies from child to child. This will depend on the child's degree of retardation. The level of retardation may vary from profound to mild. It is this fact that determines, to a large extent, the level of functioning of the child. Thus, there is a wide range of abilities even among children adults who are mentally retarded. 1.5 Let us sum up. A person with mental retardation is one who has below average intelligence, shows behavior not appropriate to age, time or place, has been so since childhood, i.e., before 18 years of age. A mental retardation arises due to limited development of the brain which affects development in all areas of FBNC. The extent of mental retardation depends on the degree of damage to the brain. Persons with mental retardation are normally classified on the basis of the degree of retardation. Psychologists and educators use different classifications. There is also a medical classification that is based on causative factors. Psychological classification is necessary for certification. For the purpose of certification, any person having an IQ of 70 or below is considered mentally retarded. There are certain specific characteristics seen in persons with mental retardation. These include delayed achievement of milestones in all the areas of development, impaired cognitive abilities such as lack of attention, poor memory, lack of problem-solving skills and understanding cause-effect relationship, poor motor development, difficulty in developing appropriate social skills, maladaptive behavior, inadequate speech, low level of comprehension, difficulty in acquiring self-help skills, lack of self-direction, difficulty in planning leisure and work-related activities. The difficulties experienced in various areas of functioning will vary from person to person depending on the extent of retardation. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video with the next